It's hello, and sets at around 10:06 p.m. And that's why Flensburg has the longest daylight in summer compared to Hamburg, or longer daylight in summer than the daylight in Hamburg, because Flensburg is located northern to Hamburg, and that's due to this phenomenon of Earth's tilt and its effect to the northern hemisphere in summer. Yeah. So you'll find all the information detailed as I illustrated, as I mentioned, in PowerPoint file, and I will attach it to the portal. So another fact I want to mention also to Germany, to the summer, and that is that Germany shift the clock 1 hour forward in summer to extend the daylight into evening. Yeah, and that's why it's also reason, maybe to some extent, why the daylight in summer in Germany may be by far longer than the night. So we have talked now about the summer in Germany, and we have mentioned two examples, the city of Hamburg and the city of Flensburg. Hamburg and Flensburg. Hamburg is located in the state of Niedersachsen, and Flensburg is located northern, very close to the Danish borders, to the borders of Denmark, in the state of Schleswig-Holstein. So now let's talk about winter in Germany. It's the vice versa of the phenomena, the phenomena that I have mentioned of the Earth tilt and its effect to the northern hemisphere. The Earth tilt in winter gives the northern hemisphere in general longer nights and shorter daylights. Yeah, that means that as we go further to the north in winter, we have longer nights and shorter daylights. Yeah, and the shortest daylight ever in winter in Germany is December 21. And if we take, for example, Hamburg also as an example, Hamburg has almost 7.5 hours daylight in winter. Yeah, can you imagine? 7 hours daylight in winter. The sun rises at 8:30 a.m. in Hamburg on December 21, on winter solstice, and sets at around 4 p.m. Yeah. And as we go to the north further, we find that cities, for example, here, if we make some closes, city as Kiel, for example, or the city of Schleswig, for example, or Flensburg, yeah, they all have shorter nights as Hamburg in winter. Or shorter daylights in winter than Hamburg, because we go further to the north. So, let's go to the rainiest. These are the information that I just mentioned about the summer daylight in Germany. And it's a comparison between Hamburg and Flensburg that I made and illustrated you to the German map, and also what concerns the winter daylight in Germany and some important key aspects and information about that I've mentioned too. And as an example, to have taken Hamburg as an example, also in the winter daylight. So here the earliest cities in Germany. These are also our only examples. There are many other cities in Germany that can be also regarded as among the rainiest cities in Germany, among Germany. But this is a short list. We have the city of Wuppertal in the state of Nordrhein-Westfalen, and its precipitation yearly is 1,200 millimeter or about 47 inches. And I want to illustrate that also in the map where is located exactly the city of Wuppertal. Make some zoom. Here is this green area represents the state of Nordrhein-Westfalen. Nordrhein-Westfalen. Yeah, this is the name of the state. And Wuppertal, the city of Wuppertal is here. Wuppertal. So to the west of Germany. So back again. As I've said, this list is only the short list of the rainiest cities in Germany. There is also many other cities that are considered as or among the rainiest cities in Germany. We have also the city of München or Munich in the state of Bayern in the southern of Germany. We have the city of Stuttgart in the state of Baden-Württemberg, also in the southern of Germany. We have the city of Augsburg, also in the state of Bayern, south of Germany, and Chemnitz in the state of Sachsen. It's in the east of Germany, northeast of Germany. Yeah. And I want here to this, regarding to this, I want to show you something. Here is the map, the precipitation map of Germany, and the latest one from 2024, from the last year. And here, for example, away from or regardless of the cities, I have mentioned 5 cities, for example, that are considered among the rainiest cities of Germany. But the rainiest regions in general, here, these regions, these spots of the violet color represent the rainiest regions all over Germany in the very south of Germany. And why is that? What's the reason? Because here is the Alpine mountains. Yeah. And that's why it's the rainiest region in Germany. And also in this region, in this state, also in Württemberg, in the south of Germany, where these regions must have also some mountains and also forests. And in general, for you, as you know, or in order to know that in Germany there is many, to some extent, many mountains and also many forests. And that's why forests and mountains or regions with forests and mountains are rainy and considered as the rainiest regions in Germany. So back again. So now we'll talk about weather, how to describe weather, how to ask about weather, first of all, and then how to describe weather. Wie ist das Wetter? It's the question to ask about weather. Yeah. For example, if I ask a friend of mine, what's the
Potas.
yeah?
Himanshu this side. Hi.
Hello?
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. Like the PPT you shared, this is not a Henry Harvin PPT, I guess.
It's not what?
It's not the PPT that shows on your portal.
Yes, it's my own PPT.
Okay, okay. It's your own PPT. Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to read this PPT.
Yeah.
Okay. For sure. ठीक है. Okay,
Okay.
great.
So, here if you want to, for example, ask a friend of you, what's the weather in your city? What's the weather in your country? So it's the right question. Wie ist das Wetter? Wie ist das Wetter? For example, if he lives in Germany, if he lives in India, wie ist das Wetter in Indien? Wie ist das Wetter in Deutschland? Ja. And the Antwort, the reply or the response, es ist und dann es ist bewölkt, cloudy, wolkenlos, wolkenfrei, cloudless. Es ist kalt, cold, it's cold. Es ist heiß, it's hot. Mild, it's mild. Es ist mild, it's mild. Schwül oder feuchtwarm, schwül or feuchtwarm. Sticky or muggy. Es ist kühl, it's chilly. Es ist warm, it's warm. Es regnet, it's raining. Es schneit, it's snowing. Es hagelt, it's hailing. Es ist windig, it's windy. Es ist sonnig, it's sunny. Es ist eisig, icy. Es donnert und blitzt. There is thunder and lightning. Es donnert, there is thunder. Es blitzt, it's lightning. If I only want to say that there is thunder, there is only thunder, then I can say es donnert. Yeah, es donnert. And if I want only to say that it's lightning, then I can say es blitzt. Es blitzt. Es ist neblig. It's foggy. Es ist frostig. It's frosty. Es ist wechselhaft. Wechselhaft. Changeable. Yeah. For example, a day it's cloudless and another day it's cloudy. Yeah. And that's also it's also common in Germany that the weather is also changeable. And that's why you have to highlight also this term wechselhaft. This is wechselhaft. Yeah. For example, yesterday it was sunny, but today it's cloudy and it's rainy. Yeah. So wechselhaft. Das ist stürmisch. Stürmisch. Stormy. Yeah. That's how we can describe weather. Now we will talk about hobbies, our hobbies. How we can ask about the hobbies. If you, for example, go into a small talk or into a conversation with someone, with my friend or with my work colleague, and I want to know about his hobbies. Yeah, I want to get to know him better, and that's why I ask him about his hobbies. Yeah. So, how to ask about hobbies? Was sind Ihre Hobbys? And that's the formal form. Or was sind deine Hobbys? That's the informal one. Or was machen Sie gerne in Ihrer Freizeit? Freizeit is a free time. What do you do in your free time? Ja, was machen Sie gerne in Ihrer Freizeit? And that's the formal form. Yeah. Or the informal one. Was machst du gerne in deiner Freizeit? Was machst du gerne in deiner Freizeit? What are you doing in your free time? Or what you do in your free time? Fußball spielen, Fußball spielen, Radfahren or Fahrrad fahren, Sport machen, Sport treiben. You have two photos here. Sport machen or Sport treiben. Joggen, joggen, jogging. Schwimmen, schwimmen. Fotografieren, fotografieren. Backen, backen. Kochen, kochen. Next. Gitarre spielen, Gitarre spielen. Lesen, to read. Lesen. Zeichnen, to draw. Malen, malen, to paint. Tanzen, to dance. Musik hören, listen to music. Mit Freunden treffen, mit Freunden treffen. Pick up with friends. These are some free time activities or some hobbies that you can use to describe your own hobbies. Next, and that's our some phrases, some questions, and some expressions that we can use to start a small talk and to handle a small talk, to make small talk and small conversations to others. And as we have learned before, that we begin our conversations with a greeting. And whether it's Guten Morgen, yeah, till 10 a.m., you can say Guten Morgen till 10 a.m. Guten Tag from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. Guten Tag. Guten Abend. Guten Abend, starting from 6 p.m. Or hello, anytime. And that's the colloquial language, or that's the slang. That's not the standard language as Guten Morgen or Guten Tag or Guten Abend, but it's the slang, it's the everyday language. Yeah. And its reply also the same, Guten Morgen or Guten Tag or Guten Abend or Hallo. Yeah. Wie geht's Ihnen? How are you? How do you do? Wie geht's Ihnen? And that's the formal one. That's the formal one. That's the standard. Yeah. Wie geht's dir? That's the informal. Wie geht's dir? Yeah. Or wie geht's? It's also informal. Wie geht's? Yeah. And you don't ask this question to someone that you don't know. If you suppose that you make a conversation to someone that your very first or very new, that you know him or that you want to get to know him or that you want to make the very first conversation with him, that you then you can't begin this conversation asking him about how he's doing or or wie geht's Ihnen, for example, or wie geht's dir, as I mentioned. Yeah, you ask this question to someone that you know, your friend, for example, yeah, or your work colleague. How do you do? How are you? And the response, mir geht's gut, danke. Und Ihnen or und dir, yeah, that's the formal and that's the informal. Und Ihnen or in und dir, and then he replies, danke, gut, yeah. So, vielen Dank. That's the expression to express our gratitude to someone that did us a favor, for example, or something like that. We want to thank him. We want to thank him. And that's a polite form. That's an expression of politeness. Yeah, expressing politeness or being politeness, being polite to other people. And we have mentioned that before in the last module. Vielen Dank. That's the standard language. Ja, vielen Dank. Besten Dank. Lieben Dank. Herzlichen Dank. Dankeschön. Danke sehr. These are forms of slang or colloquial language. Yeah, so you can use this in your daily life, in your daily situations. Yeah, vielen Dank also you can use in daily situations, but if if it concerns, for example, if it's related to an email you write to your boss or an email you write to your to our colleague, yeah, it has to be standard language. It's preferable to be the standard language, and in this case, you will use this form vielen Dank, yeah, and the response or the reply will be nichts zu danken, nichts zu danken. You are welcome. Not at all. Gern geschehen. You are welcome. Your pleasure. Sure. Keine Ursache. No need. Bitte or bitteschön or bitte sehr. Sure. You are welcome. Yeah. Bitte, bitteschön, bitte sehr. Also colloquial language. Yeah. Um, you wouldn't be preferable to, or it's not preferable to use this form, bitte or bitteschön or bitte sehr, in a written form. For example, if you write something or something like that, yeah, email or a letter, so you would, it's preferable to use these forms, nicht zu danken, gern geschehen, keine Ursache. Wie heißen Sie? Wie heißt du? Yeah, to ask somebody about his name or her name. Yeah, and you can use this question also in your very first conversation with someone else. For example, do you want to get to know your newest work colleague, for example? Yeah, or the newest colleague or your colleague, for example, at the university. So after greeting him, you can ask him, wie heißen Sie? Yeah, then ich heiße, or mein Name ist, and we have illustrated that also in the last modules. Mein Name ist, yeah, and it's also possible that you don't have to ask him directly, what's your name, or wie heißen Sie? You can begin with yourself, you can mention your name, ich heiße, or mein Name ist, and then asking him about his name. Und Sie, or und du, yeah? And then he will reply to you, mein Name ist, or ich heiße, for example, Herr Müller. Here, wie heißt der, or wie heißt sie? If I want to, there is a conversation between two persons, yeah, and one of these persons asks the others, the other about a third person. Yeah? Wie heißt er? What's his name? Or wie heißt sie? What's her name? And the person that you asked reply, er heißt, or sie heißt, or das ist. Yeah? It's common to use this expression, das ist. Sehr erfreut, sehr angenehm, yeah, pleased to meet you, pleased to know you, or freut mich, pleased to meet you, pleasure, yeah. And we say this following to the question of about the names. If we ask, for example, somebody about his name, so we say or we ask, wie heißen Sie? Wie heißen Sie or wie heißt du? And then it's expected that the other person says his name. For example, mein Name is Patrick. Then we say sehr erfreut, sehr angenehm Patrick, freut mich Patrick, and so on. And then Patrick says also danke, das freut mich. Or das ist nett von Ihnen. Danke, das freut mich. It's a pleasure to me. Yeah, that's nett von Ihnen. It's nice from you. Das ist nett von Ihnen. Yeah. So, and if you want to end a conversation, we are at the end of the conversation, and you want to end it, that's what I mentioned also in the last modules. Auf Wiedersehen. Auf Wiedersehen. The standard language. Or tschüss. The colloquial language. Tschüss. Also, the other person replies with the same one. Or we can say, also at the end of the conversation, if we want to end small talk, we can say bis bald. Bis bald. See you soon. Bis morgen. See you tomorrow. Yeah. For example, you're talking to your work colleague and you know that you will see him once more tomorrow at the workplace. So you end the conversation with him bis morgen. See you tomorrow. Bis nächste Woche. For example, for the week before the weekend. Yeah. And you say goodbye to your work colleague. For example, you know that you will meet him again, but on Monday next week. So you say, see you next week. Bis nächste Woche. See you next week. Bis nächste Woche. Or bis zum nächsten Mal. Ja? See you next time. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Bis gleich. Bis gleich, see you later or see you soon. You say that if, for example, if you will meet the other person in 10 minutes, in 15 minutes, for example, or in 5 minutes, yeah? For example, you are in a break at your workplace and you talk to your work colleague, for example, and you will have, both of you will have a meeting in 10 minutes, for example, after the break, directly after the break. So you can say to him, bis gleich, yeah? In the meeting, I mean, see you soon or see you later. Bis später, see you later also. Bis später. If, for example, if you will have an appointment or have a date with your friends after the work in 2 hours or in 3 hours, you will meet him. So you can say bis später. See you later. Yeah. And he can also or she can also reply with the same form. Gute Nacht, good night. Yeah. If it's late at night, for example, at 9 or at 10 p.m., and you can say goodbye to your friend, saying Gute Nacht. Gute Nacht. If it's, for example, a phone call or if you are together outside, for example, having a dinner or something like that. So you say gute Nacht. And he also replies with the same expression, gute Nacht. So it's important to highlight some remarkable expressions here that you use in starting a small talk, how to start a small talk with a greeting, and then a small talk, I mean, with someone that you don't know. And it's your first, very, very first conversation with them or with her, and you begin with Guten Morgen, Guten Tag, Guten Abend, Hallo, whatever, and that's the common greeting. And then you ask about the name, yeah, and after mentioning both of your names, you can say sehr erfreut, sehr angenehm, freut mich, and he also replies in this form, danke, das freut mich, or das ist nett von Ihnen, yeah, and at the end of the conversation, you end it with Auf Wiedersehen or Tschüss, or in this form, as I have mentioned before, or Gute Nacht if it's late at night. Next. Talking about countries. So if I want to ask somebody, for example, where he comes from, so I can also use this question in the very first conversation with someone that I want to get to know him. Yeah, so I can ask him, woher kommen Sie? And that's the formal form. Woher kommst du? That's the informal. Or wo kommen Sie her? That's the same question, but in another form. Wo kommen Sie her? Or wo kommst du her? Yeah, where do you come from? And she replies, Ich komme aus. I come from. And then mention the country that you're coming from. Yeah, ich komme aus Indien, for example, or ich komme aus Deutschland, for example. You can also mention the city, yeah, in Indian or in Germany. Wo leben Sie? Yeah, where do you live? Wo leben Sie? Wo lebst du? Or wo wohnen Sie? Wo wohnst du? That's the formal, that's the informal. And leben, the verb leben and the verb wohnen are synonyms. So you can use either of them. And the response, ich lebe or ich wohne in. You can also mention the country that you live in or the city that you live in also. Wie viele Länder haben Sie besucht? Or wie viele Länder hast du besucht? That's a question that you don't have to highlight because you won't use this question frequently in your daily situations or in daily life. So you have to highlight these both of questions because you will use these questions frequently in your conversations with people that you don't know or and that you want to get to know them also, or yeah, daily life, and that's why it's common to use these both of questions. But this question, it's important to know this question also, yeah, to ask about the countries that somebody has visited before, yeah, but you want to use this question often or frequently. Wie viele Länder haben Sie besucht? And that's the present perfect tense. Or wie viele Länder hast du besucht? Ich habe, and then mention the countries or yeah, the cities also, the countries that you have visited, because he asked about the countries, Länder. Ich habe, for example, Indien besucht. Ich habe Indien und Deutschland besucht. Ich habe Indien, Deutschland und Frankreich besucht and so on. Welchen Ort wollen Sie besuchen? Welchen Ort? willst du besuchen? The formal one and the informal one. Where do you want to visit? Ich will gerne or unbedingt, for example, die Pyramiden in Ägypten besuchen or Berlin Stadt besuchen, for example. I would like to visit. Ja, ich will gern. I would like to. Or ich will unbedingt. I really want to. I really want to. So next. These are some basic questions that you can ask also frequently in your daily life. For example, we begin with this question, was machen Sie gerade? What are you doing now? Was machen Sie gerade? That's the formal one. Was machst du gerade? That's the informal. You can use this question or you can ask this question, for example, in knowing about the, for example, to what the other person does in his free time. Yeah, for example, I want to have a dinner. I want to go out with my friend, for example, and that's why I make a phone call with him and ask him, was machen Sie gerade or was machst du? Was machst du gerade? I want to know what he is doing, for example, at the moment, to know if he has time to go out with me or not. Yeah. So, was machen Sie gerade or was machst du gerade? You have to highlight this question and keep in mind this question. Wo arbeiten Sie? That's the formal form. Or wo arbeitst du? Yeah. Where do you work? You can use this question also in your very first conversation with someone in order to know him better. Yeah. Wo arbeiten Sie? Or wo arbeitst du? Where do you work? Wohin gehen Sie? Wohin gehst du? Where are you going to? Yeah. For example, I phoned my friend and I wanted to go out with him, but he informed me that he is busy. He has an appointment with his friends, and I want to know where he is going to go to. Yeah, where will he go to? So I ask him, wohin gehen Sie or wohin gehst du? Wie spät ist es? Asking about time. What time is it? Yeah, I don't have here to, for example, greet someone to ask him about the time. For example, suppose that you are in your hurry and you are on your way to the to the workplace, but you are late. And for example, the battery of your phone is flat, yeah, and you don't have your watch and you don't know what time is it because you're late and you're in hurry. So you asked someone in the street, entschuldigen Sie bitte, wie spät ist es? And as you remember, you should remember also from the first time, from the last time, in the last module, that we have learned some polite expressions as entschuldigen Sie bitte or Entschuldigung. And as also danke, vielen Dank, danke sehr as well. Yeah. And to this context, to this situation, I can use this expression, entschuldigen Sie bitte, wie spät ist es? Ja. Warum fragen Sie das? Why are you asking that? Warum fragen Sie das? Warum fragst du das? That's the informal and that's the formal. Wie alt sind Sie? Yeah, the question about the age. Wie alt sind Sie? How old are you? Wie alt bist du? That's a question that you also should highlight and keep in mind because you will ask this question, for example, in getting to know someone that you made with him the very first conversation. So it's an important question also. Wie alt sind Sie or wie alt bist du? Wo ist die Toilette? Where is the bathroom? Wie lautet Ihre Telefonnummer? Wie lautet deine Telefonnummer? What's your phone number? What's your phone number? And that's a question that you can use also. For example, if so, if you are on good terms with your work colleagues, yeah, so that it's acceptable that you can ask him about his phone number. So you can say, wie lautet Ihre Telefonnummer oder wie lautet deine Telefonnummer? Wann ist Ihr Geburtstag? Oder wann ist dein Geburtstag? When's your birthday? Wie viel kostet das? How much is that? If you want to buy something, for example. Wo ist der Bahnhof? Wo ist der Bahnhof? Where is the train station? Haben Sie Empfehlungen? Do you have any recommendations? For example, you will have a date and you will go to have dinner with your friend, for example. You don't know, you want to go to to the restaurants, and you ask your work colleagues, for example, about recommendations for the best restaurants that you go and you visit. So you ask this question, haben Sie Empfehlungen? Do you have any recommendations? If you want also to use the informal one, you can say, hast du Empfehlungen? At last, sprechen Sie Englisch? Sprichst du Englisch? Or you can use any other language here instead of English. Yeah. Do you speak English? Lastly, that's some nuances between in the personalities or in the cultures between, for example, here, more particularly between the Germans and the Americans. Yeah. What the Americans think of the Germans and what the Germans think of the Americans. So it's important to make this comparison. For example, you come from India, so you have to make this comparison between the Germans and the Indians. So to have a look, for example, here at the traits of the Germans, or more specifically, how the Americans think of the Germans are. Yeah. And you make this comparison to the Indians. For example, you see, you see if the Indians are reserved, for example, as the Germans, from the point of view of the Americans or not. Yeah, it's important to train yourself on the vocabs on describing these traits. So, zurückhaltend. The Americans think the Germans are zurückhaltend, reserved. Humorlos, humorless. Zuverlässig, reliable. Grob, ruppig. Grob or ruppig. Abrasive or harsh. Arbeitsam, hardworking. Arbeitsam. You can say also fleißig. This context, you can say also fleißig or leistungsfähig or leistungsstark. Yeah, hardworking. Effizient. Effizient. You can use also here leistungsfähig or leistungsschwach. Ähm, sorry, leistungsfähig or leistungsstark. Effizient. The synonym of arbeitsam is fleißig. Unflexibel. The Americans think of the Germans that they are unflexibel, inflexible. Pünktlich. Punctual. Seriös. Serious. Arrogant. Snobbish. The Germans think the Americans are extrovertiert, extroverted. Direkt, direct. Individualistisch, individualistic. Laut, loud. Offen, open. Auf Geld fixiert or geschäftstüchtig. Money-minded. geschäftstüchtig, money-minded, opportunistisch, opportunistic, gesprächig, talkative, Risikoträger, risk taker. So I will leave some interesting, maybe one video or two videos about the module of today, and also um, an assignment. It's important to that your total assignment and that you do the assignment because you train yourself about the vocabulary and also the daily life situations and how you start a small talk, how you start a conversation, how you end a conversation, and what to talk about, because we have some specific topics, some definite topics that we have illustrated and we have described and we have learned today about, for example, talking about weather and how to talk about the hobbies and so on. And that's why it's important to train yourself about these topics. And that's why I will I will share with you over the portal some videos and also assignments. To some of these videos, an assignment that you have to do for yourself to train yourself on the vocabulary that you have learned today. So thank you very much. That's the third module for today, and see you next time. Bye bye.